One dead, 8 wounded after 2 shootings in the Loop, hours after Chicago's Christmas tree lighting.
Post on X from Alderman Brian Hopkins, who's of course one of the downtown aldermen, and this is the alderman speaking here, so that's who we're attributing this to. He has posted a tweet or on X, 300 juveniles, he says, noting rioting in the Loop now. At least 5 victims have been shot, 1 critical with life-threatening gunshot wound to the torso. Multiple police officers attacked and injured with mace and stun guns. At least 1 police officer has been hospitalized. That's according to downtown Alderman Brian Hopkins, who has been very vocal, Robin, Cheryl, and Trey, about the need to have new rules of engagement for the Chicago police in terms of how they can deal with youth and how they can deal with large gatherings of youth that happen, as Cheryl, as you say, when the weather gets nice. And it became quite a political story not just a few months ago. Brian Hopkins, one of the big advocates for allowing the police to have much more flexible rules, ability to declare a riot, declare an unpeaceful situation, and to clear people out. So these numbers that he's talking about are a lot bigger than we had heard earlier before.
Crime is down, Brandon Johnson said. The youth just need jobs, Brandon Johnson said. The focus should be on defending illegal immigrants, Brandon Johnson said. But what about the law-abiding, God-fearing, tax-paying citizens of Chicago? Don't they deserve to be safe, at least at a damn Christmas tree lighting? Shame on you, Brandon Johnson. Shame on you. You guys are getting the the pajama jam show this morning because I live in California. We are several hours behind Chicago, but imagine my lack of surprise. And that's what's really sad about this. As I'm awakened from my bed to be told that 8 people have been shot and 1 person killed at a damn Christmas tree lighting last night in the Chicago Loop. Now, a large part of my family lives in Chicago, so, it's kind of personal for me. But I don't only think about them at a time like this. I think about every single person who lives in that city, beautiful city, my second favorite city in this country. I think about how those people are being totally neglected by the leadership that they elected. Every day you see Brandon Johnson making a statement about protecting illegal immigrants. Every day you see Brandon Johnson making a statement about the 1% in the rich, in the corporations paying their fair share, saying that that's their duty to give more of their hard-earned money to the administrative apparatus of Chicago to squander and waste. But what about your job, Brandon Johnson? You can talk about Trump, you can talk about ICE all day long. But at the end of the day, like my grandmother used to say, it's going to tell on you before you tell on it. And Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry to say, though we share the same first name, it is definitely telling on you. Instead of worrying about illegal aliens and criminals getting due process, why don't you focus your efforts on making sure that non-criminal, law-abiding, God-fearing citizens within Chicago are getting their due process, their fair opportunity to pursue a life of prosperity and happiness? It's so sad to see the utter neglect, and it seems like a bit of disdain that these democratic socialists have for people who simply want to work, live, prosper, and thrive in America. It's almost like when you say, hey, I just want to be a law-abiding citizen, or if you don't have some type of problem that these people can virtue signal over, they don't care about you. They don't like you. And honestly, they don't want you around.
2 shootings just hours after the Christmas tree lighting, steps away as well from the Christkindl Market right here downtown. One of those mass shootings leaving 7 teenagers in the hospital. Just blocks away from that, a man died. Let's get right to our Saul Rezai at State and Randolph for the very latest on the investigations.
Yeah, Suzanne, one of those shootings happened just steps away from the Chicago theater here. The scene has been cleared here this morning, but we know new details from Chicago police this morning tell us 7 people were shot here near the Chicago theater. A separate scene near Adams and Dearborn had 2 other people that were shot. The person at that scene, we learned, has died. Witnesses tell us the victims seemed all to be very young, in their teenage years. Police confirming this morning the youngest victim is only 13 years old. Suzanne, you mentioned these shootings happened just steps away from multiple big holiday attractions happening here in the Loop. We'll get to that video. Chicago police saying they saw a large group of people on the sidewalk. You'll see this scene video as aftermath. Dozens of Chicago police officers and first responders on the scenes here downtown. The victims between 13 and 17 years old. In total, 7 people shot here at State and Randolph, all said to be in good condition, thankfully. 1 person in fair condition. 2 more people shot, as I mentioned, at Adams and Dearborn at a different scene. The injuries of those victims are more serious. Police confirming this morning they found 2 other people shot at Adams and Dearborn. 1 man had gunshot wounds throughout his body and was pronounced dead at the hospital. The second victim, an 18-year-old man, was shot in the leg and is in serious condition at last check. Many people we talked to were here visiting from out of town, and they said they were sad to see this happen, especially during the holiday.
Now, Brandon Johnson touts the fact that crime is down. Crime is down. Oh, the youth just need jobs, because the fall saw a downturn in the youth takeovers, where hundreds of youth would descend upon the Loop in Chicago and basically start beating people up, robbing them, shooting each other, and hitting law-abiding citizens in the crossfire. But all of a sudden, at a major event, the Christmas tree lighting, the youth takeover returned. 300 youth descended upon the Loop, and as if they had no other opportunity to do this, they created a situation that can only be described as chaos. Why do they do this? Well, you know what? One thing I've learned about children, the young, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And Brandon Johnson has given them many, many inches. He's basically declared a state of lawlessness and anarchy. And when asked to do something about it, he hides behind this idea that, oh, if they only had jobs, things would be much better. They wouldn't be out here doing this. Well, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry to say, you've provided thousands of jobs to the youth of Chicago. You even have a Chicago government propaganda podcast called The Jam, where a bunch of young black men get together and speak on behalf of and cheer for and disseminate propaganda for a bunch of policies and government practices that don't even serve their best interest. So congratulations for that. But I wonder if the jam will talk about this mass shooting. Probably not, because they will be instructed not to. And if they do, they will spin this into a tapestry of socialist gobbledygook, because that's what they're good at. Now, the most concerning part of this, besides the loss of life and people getting shot, is now people are openly calling for the rules of engagement when dealing with Chicago's youth to be changed. There are people openly saying that the restrictions that the mayor of Chicago has placed on police when dealing with youth need to be lifted. Basically, they're ready to start putting y'all in body bags. That's what they're saying without using those exact words. People are tired of people getting a pass. People are tired of people being allowed to participate in criminality and behave in an animalistic way and then hide behind the fact that they are under 18 while doing so. Listen, man, I've never been a person who thought because someone's 15 or 14 or 17 or 16, they don't know right from wrong and thus should be immune to the repercussions for their actions. I've never thought that. These people have done these type of acts repeatedly. They plan these things, they orchestrate these things, and the more you refuse to respond in kind by putting them in jail or putting that fire to their butt, guess what? They don't look at you as respectful or caring or virtuous or loving. They just look at you as soft and stupid because they will not return that sentiment. They do not operate under that same sentiment, and they will not return or reciprocate that kindness. The weak outnumber the strong. The weak outnumber the strong. And these kids are weak-minded. They come from homes with weak parents, not due to any fault of the parents, but the parents have been weakened. Their ability to discipline their children has been totally stripped from them. Now, if they touch their kid, they go to jail, kid gets taken away. They don't touch their kid runs around the town preying on innocent people who just want to enjoy a Christmas tree lighting. This is ridiculous. It has to stop. Please stop voting Democrat. We're telling you time and time again. You're so worried about what the other side might do. Listen, the first fundamental aspect of any city governance, security, safety, right? I've seen people champion a dictator like Ibrahim Traore over in Burkina Faso and justify everything he's done, every dictatorial action he's taken, all in the name of safety and security, right? But the same people who defend him, they hate the idea of safety and security and the resurgence of public support for law enforcement in the United States of America. And I, for one, am sick of it. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching this. Till the next time, peace.